ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Donna Just Being Real. My channel is about dating, love, relationships, and toxic relationship advice channel. We got another toxic relationship, so we're going to get into this again. Psycho Sarah Boone, property manager and neighbor, questioned after the Suitcase murder. Alright, so we're going to play, it's just going to be audio. So I'll let you all know it's all audio, so you don't have anything to worry about. You just... Ooh. Excuse my phone. It's just audio just to listen to, okay? So you sit back, get comfortable, and just listen to the audio. And then we're gonna, first audio I'm gonna play is the property manager, and the second one I'm gonna play is the neighbor, and they've been questioned. Alright, and what you do is you hit the like button, share your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. The replay watchers, please share your thoughts in the comment section. Tell me what you think of it all and everything. And let me see who's in here real quick. Alright, so make sure everybody hit the like. It's important. Make sure you hit the like, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, and we have Nail GG up in here, and good evening to you and blessings. Oh, we doing a double today, right? Nails, doing a double. Elaine, and blessings to you. Hello, Donna, and everyone here. And we also have Lisa, my dear, blessings to you, blessings to you. And who do we have here? We have Patricia. Is that Patricia? I believe Patricia. And welcome to Donna Just Being Real. And we have Maud on deck. And we have Strong. Hello, my friend Donna, Jack, and family. Yes. All right. So we're gonna get ready to play this here. So it's just gonna be the audio. All right. So we're gonna listen to what the property manager had to say. And then there might be times I might kind of pause and everything to share my thoughts and opinions. So just work with me, but I'm trying not to talk too much. And at the end, I'll share my thoughts about it, because this whole thing is insane. So a quick recap about what's going on. Alright, so we have this nutcase over here by the name of Sarah Boone. And also, if you want to find out more about this, please feel free to check out my past videos on this, Sarah Boone, excuse me. Check out my past commentary. And also feel free to check out some other past commentary you might like too. And check out my animation too. Alright, my animation is all about dating, love, relationships, and tough relationships. I use trials, I use animation, I use crime stories as a teaching tool to help people to date smart and not thirsty. Alright, let's get into this one. So, Sarah Boone is 42, was arrested on charges of second-degree murder after she was accused of zipping her boyfriend. Jorge Torres, I can't pronounce it, but everybody can read the description. Torres, Jr., 42, inside a suitcase during a game of hide and seek, and leaving him to die as he called out for her name, that he can't breathe, and she left him in a suitcase. Insane, ladies and gentlemen, gotta be careful out here. Who else do we have up in here? Do I see? And Bridget, and hugs and kisses to you. Tulsa, Oklahoma in the house. And greetings to you, beautiful. Alright, let's get into this, okay? Alright, it's all audio, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get it.
Date is February 26, 2020. The time now is approximately 12:05 hours. This is in reference to Orange County case number 20-
I just want to say again, the first audio is the manager, the property manager that they speak to. The detectives are speaking to the property manager. Let's get it.
017904. I'm currently located at Tealwood Park Apartments, 4704 Lucier, Fort Winter Park, Florida, 32792. I am here with my partner, Detective Scott Long, with the Orange County Sheriff's Office. And can you state your name?
Melissa May Sexton.
You are the property manager of this complex, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And we had come in here asking about the tenants, Sarah Boone and Jorge Torres. Mm-hmm. And they have lived here. You gave us the date of February 9th, 2018?
Correct.
Okay. You had told us that Sarah would confide in you about her and George's relationship. Can you tell us further what she would tell you?
Yes. Sarah, shortly after she moved in with George, she came to the office to talk to me. We noticed bruises and stuff on her, and she asked me if she could talk to me privately and asked how she would be able to get George off of the lease. Is there any way to do that? Which prompted, deeper conversation. She proceeded to let me know and was showing me a lot of bruises and marks. There were handprints, scratches. She even at one point had to go to the hospital. Through multiple conversations that we had, it steadily progressed. She had a very large gash at one point in her shin. She had to go to the hospital and get that taken care of. I'm not exactly sure what it was from, but I think it had to do when they got into a fight outside and something got broke. I think it was one of their wine glasses or something. But, she came to me at one point asking, what do I do? Like, how can I get rid of him? I've never dealt with this type of situation. I just counsel her as she continued to come to me and explain to her that, she had to make a decision if she was going to stay with him or not be with him. If she, was going to try to work things out, they needed to seek out therapy, help, something. It wasn't too long after that last conversation that I found out the police had come and George was arrested. I don't remember about how long it was in between time, but there was another incident after that where they both got arrested, all for domestic. The complaints I've had throughout their whole term, roughly about 20 to 30 noise complaints, fighting, arguing, banging on doors, loud music. It was just always something pertaining to their lifestyle. I do know that I have seen both of them intoxicated as early as 9 o'clock in the morning, and I mean staggering, falling down, intoxicated. Exactly. Both of them. There was a noise complaint that I had received about some fighting one day that was going on, and Sarah was actually wandering around the property very drunk, barefoot, not properly dressed, I'll say it like that, sitting on the side of her building over by the retention pond. When I was told about that is when I approached Sarah, sat down, talked to her. I even had also separately went and talked to George and told them that once they had sobered up, I needed to have a meeting with them. The following business day, because this was a Friday, I do remember that, I went to see them Monday, roughly about 12 o'clock. They were sober. They apparently had some epiphany, that they were going to straighten themselves up and start acting right. And they did very good for, basically until now. I haven't gotten any complaints since May of the past year, But up until that point, the complaints were consistent, monthly, always.
Would you ever speak with George by himself? Like, did he ever confide in you about their relationship?
The one time where, like I was just saying, that when I talked to her, she asked me to go talk to him. But she's like, please, go put the fear of God in him. Fear of God in him. I'm a very stern property manager. I don't tolerate a whole lot of crap.
Right.
And she knew that, and she seemed scared of him at the time. So I said, sure, no problem, just stay here. I will go talk to him. I went over, sat down, talked to George. I talked to him for about 30 minutes altogether. And, George had explained to me that she was actually the aggressive one. And the reason she ended up with marks is, in my perception of what he was trying to explain is that she's very hands-on, in the face, dramatized in talking and explaining or fussing or whatever they might have been doing.
Right.
And I believe that because Jean, my assistant, doesn't even like to deal with her, would avoid her like the plague, because she was always drunk and she's very hands-on. There was one day, as a matter of fact, it was that same day that I talked to George by himself, she kept grabbing me by the arms to the point that I told her, I said, you touch me one more time, we're going to have a problem. I'm either going to contact the police or whatever we need to do, but you can't keep grabbing on me. I had asked her several times to quit touching me. And because of that, she would do the same thing to Jean, and Jean didn't like it.
Right.
So, that's what he was explaining to me, is she was always the touchy one, the aggressive one, not that she was hitting him, but she would be like in his face, or she might, push him, or, little things like that. And she would block him from coming out of the room or whatnot, and he would take her and move her. You know what I mean? And just that's the way he had explained it to me.
Right.
She has told me, even literally to Monday, I have been told by her several occasions that he has drugged her around by the hair of her head. I've been, told about by neighbors. I'm sorry I don't have it anymore, but at one point a tenant actually sent us a video clip via text of them two fighting and beating on each other out in the backyard. There was another complaint incident about a ladder being propped up to the wall that George was using to climb over the wall to try to get back into his apartment, sneaking in and out. There was another night, sorry, I forgot to tell you about this too. I got a call for one of my vacants in building 24, 4724, which is not their building. There was a tent set up on my vacant back porch. And it's apparently where George was sleeping for a couple of nights because she had him out of the house. I have another tenant here who may or may not speak to you, I'm not sure. For that reason, I don't want to give you her name just yet without talking to her, but George and her fighting that different evening had actually wandered into her home. He was so drunk and had no idea where he was, and when she came home, luckily her kids were not there because she's a single mother with 3 kids. George was actually upstairs in her house hollering and looking for Sarah, thinking he was in his apartment. So we've had some incidences with them in that aspect, but nothing has ever been so bad that, I didn't feel that we could resolve the problem. And like I said, we have a problem. And like I said, we haven't had any issues since May of last year. No complaints, no nothing until this. So we thought, hey, they're doing great. Maybe they fixed their problems. I mean,
has she come to you since May of any issues?
No,
okay.
Not one time.
But then again, basically they were told you're going to be evicted if there are.
Yes.
So it's kind of like tighten up or get out.
Yeah, it was put up or shut up. I was over it.
Yeah.
If it continued, I was putting them out.
Right.
So.
Did you ever see any marks on George?
No. Not one. Not one. George was a little bit darker skinned.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Would you see George as often as you saw Sarah? It sounds like Sarah came to you a lot more than.
Yeah. We would always see Sarah. As far as the only time I ever really saw George is the time when we actually got George to sign off the lease.
Right.
And he came to me and said, I can't get back in the house. She's got all my personal paperwork because would you please have a conversation with her so that I can get my personal paperwork back from her? He goes, but do you have a set of bolt cutters for my bicycle that's out back? And I said, what's it chained to, And he said, it's actually chained to your AC unit. I said, yeah, no problem. I'll cut the lock. I'll cut the lock for anything attached to my AC unit. It's not supposed to be attached to that.
Right.
So I went out back and actually cut the lock on both of the bike locks because Sarah would not answer the door for me because she knew George was in it. Once George was gone, because Sarah had my cell phone number, being that I had already went through and just got out of a very abusive relationship, Sarah knew that because, I confided in her and explained that. She did feel a lot more comfortable in coming to me. So I told her if she ever needed someone, or it was an emergency, she could reach out to me and I would do what I could to help her. I felt bad for her. But after a while, when she just kept taking him back, I just told her, I said, you're just going to have to call the authorities. You're on your own. It's obvious you don't want it to stop. He's not doing anything to get help according to you, and you just keep dealing with it. I mean, there comes a point where it's just stupidity. But that's the run-ins and instances that I've had with him. I've never seen a mark on George, and he's never told me that she's hit him at all.
Okay.
But she has told me.
I'll just pause it for a second. And shout out to Lane. Thank you so much for the channel blessing on the Cash App. Thank you. Love you, girl. Thank you for the blessing. And also I want to say is, what we have again too, the second blessing to the channel. Thank you, Lane. And Strong was said this relationship sounded like it was doomed from the beginning. Yeah, it was. This is a very toxic relationship. And usually in a toxic relationship like this, it's going to end badly. Like I said, either one of them going to die or someone's going to go to jail. And unfortunately, this man here you see in the picture, he died. This is really sad, But she does seem like she's more the aggressor and everything. But let me resume and I'll share my thoughts. Let's get it.
in front of him that he has hit her and things that he's done, and he was not denying it. He never denied it. So George and her both expressed to me on many occasions that they knew they needed help. But I'm guessing due to their financial situation, not having any work, probably why they didn't do much.
Right.
When you saw them together, who looked to be like more dominant? I mean, did one seem to be more dominant over the other?
George. George was very confident. He wasn't arrogant or anything. He, for the most part, stayed to himself. Like I said, there are a couple people here that he knew, from, I will say, another life from Philadelphia. And, George was the one I always seen driving the vehicle. George is the one I always seen playing with the child. Never saw Sarah outside playing with her kid, ever. As a matter of fact, most of the time, Lucas, you would find him riding around the property on his bike, unattended. No parents outside, no nothing. Because I had actually had a conversation with Sarah about that. And I said, the kid was a great kid, don't get me wrong, he never did anything to get me in trouble, but it was more my concern for his well-being. When he's all the way riding over here around some of these corners with the dumpsters, these people don't see nobody, and they sure ain't gonna see no kid on the road. So I had a conversation with her about that, and we haven't had any really problems. I can say I've only seen Lucas on his bike away from her like that twice. She actually had secluded him to stay in front of the building, which was fine. I just didn't want him to live here. But yeah, you didn't see Sarah out at all. The only time I ever saw her, especially after the incident that took place with Emmett and his ex-girlfriend, it was more like a confrontation that took place in the office. She made an accusation on Emmett saying that he was trying to forcefully, I don't want to say rape, but he was trying to push himself on her.
On Sarah?
On Sarah. She made that claim.
Some tenant? A different
Yeah,
tenant?
another tenant that knew George from Philly. And they confronted the two of them. I will say Sarah held her ground when the girl confronted her and asked her and said, don't lie to my face. And Sarah said, yeah, he did. So I was surprised because she knew that girl was over butt. And she's larger than me. So, I was like, oh my gosh, okay, well, maybe there's some truth to that. But it ended up, just fizzling out. It was no big deal. After that situation took place, you really didn't see Sarah too much. She was pretty intimidated. Those two folks are actually a pretty large family that I have living here on site that actually took up 4 units at that time. So the whole family lived here. It's a little intimidating. So after that, we really didn't see a whole lot of her.
But before that, they would hang out periodically, you said.
The other two families, no. They just knew each other from back in the day.
Oh, the couple did?
The kids did.
The kids did.
Yes, that's what initially prompted it, and then that accusation was made during that same time.
Okay.
So, and when it comes to the kids on my property, I stay very involved with them. We have some issues with our bus routes and all kinds of stuff, and we had some kid vandalism being done, broken glass bottles. They were pulling glass bottles out of the trash, breaking them, thought it was fun. And one kid told on another, and the parents got involved. It became a little bit of an issue, so I had to get in the middle to squash it, I didn't want anybody fighting on the property or kids getting hurt for that matter. But that's it.
Is there anything else that you think is important for us to know about Sarah or George that we haven't discussed?
No, I don't. Nothing really. Her nickname's Drunky the Bear. Literally. We know they drank from sunup to sundown.
Would she ever... I know she confined in you.
Did she say they drink from sun up to sundown? Wow. So they drink.
Hold on, Donna. She was saying that he was trying to sexually assault the girl?
I think I'm kind of got some of it, but yeah, I think so. I'm not too sure. I have to go back. All right, let me resume. I'll share some of my thoughts. But basically, a lot have to do is I just don't see this guy as that type of dude. I just don't. I really don't. I just feel it's more on her. And the alcohol just had them crazy. But it was more of her. Because think about it, Jack. When he was in that suitcase, he was just so. I mean, the woman locked you up in the suitcase saying you can't breathe, but he still had the words of love to her. I don't know. All right, let's resume.
You a lot. Would she ever admit that she was an alcoholic to you?
Yeah.
She would.
Yes. I wish I still had my text messages. She sent it to me on text many occasions. I know we drink too much and blah, blah, blah. She had told me that George one time had enrolled in AA and was getting help. Now, whether that was any truth, I have no idea. A lot of stuff like that I just take with a grain of salt.
Right.
You know, I think she was more concerned about the image that was being put in my head for them, and I think she was just trying to paint a prettier picture.
Right.
Because I will say, it was like a week later, she was gone. And when we go, you know, inspecting the property and walking around different projects, we do a lot of pressure washing throughout the year. We do that a couple of times. You know, I ride around the back sides of the buildings, checking everything out. We've got a property drainage system back there. You always knew, because you'd ride back there and you'd hear 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, they're drunk, falling down, cutting up. My God, I can't imagine being drunk like that all the time. Jeez.
Okay. Can you raise your right hand for me?
Yes.
Promise and swear everything we've talked about has been true and accurate to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the first audio. The first one. Oh, I see Pam Money in here. Blessings to you and welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, that was the first audio. That was the one with the property manager. Now we're gonna get into the neighbor. Let's see what the neighbor has to say. Okay. And then I'll get back into some of these comments and address them. All right, this is not gonna be a long live stream this evening. And oh, do I see Rusty in the house? Yes, Rusty, yes. I confess I am an addict with this stuff. Yes, I am. Yes, I confess, Rusty. Okay. All right, let's get back to it, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, well, I gotta share it. Oh, sorry there. Give me a second here so I can share the screen. And we're gonna get into the second audio. Everything is just audio this evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so confused here. Where is it? Where is it? Okay. All right. Let me do this because I want to do timestamps, and this will help me with the timestamps. Where am I? Where am I? All right, give me a second. Okay, now this audio we can ready play here. This one here is dealing with, you know what? I done messed it up. I'm sorry. We gotta do this again. Is that the right one? Okay, now I got the right one. I was sharing the wrong screen. I'm glad I didn't start playing it. Okay, now this audio here, we're going to listen to the neighbor, one of the neighbors that lived there, and hear what he has to say about the stuff that was happening over there. Let's get it.
It's February 27, 2020. The time now is approximately 17:48 hours. This is in reference to Orange County case number 20-017904. I'm currently located at 4748 France Lane, apartment. France Court? You sure?
That's what I always park up. Yeah, because you can see it on the sign over there on the 4749. It's France
Okay,
Court.
France Court.
Yeah, it's weird. For some reason, all of the signs are on the opposites, are on the wrong side.
On the
of
wrong,
building.
yeah, the further
that's
side.
apartment 8 there, and the sign's right there on that one.
Gotcha. Okay. France Court, apartment, the Tealwood Parks apartment. When I'm speaking with, can you state your name
It's Brandon Nuts.
and your date of? Okay. And you reside at this apartment, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you said that you've been living here since January of 2019?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. On Sunday, which would have been,
The 4th,
let's just double check. Sunday was the 23rd.
23rd.
The people that's coming in the chat, greeting and good evening, and the people in the bushes, good evening and blessings to you, and make sure everybody hit that like. Resume.
Were you home that day?
I would have come home a little late that evening, but I would have been here around 8, 9 o'clock. I would have gotten in around 8 or 9 o'clock.
PM.
Yes.
Okay. And so your apartment is right next to apartment number 3. Does your apartment share walls with theirs?
My bedroom shares a wall with the lower half of their apartment.
The lower half. Okay. Do you recall hearing anything coming from apartment 3 while you were after you had gotten home?
Around 10:30 or 11 o'clock, there was a very loud crashing sound where I believe, I'm not sure, I haven't been in their apartment like my roommate, but I believe is the location of the staircase.
Okay,
So a little bit above.
A very loud, you said crashing sound?
Yeah, like it sounded like something had been like falling down the stairs. Because it started up high and then it ended.
What does that sound like to you, ladies and gentlemen? What do you think? Put in the comments. And also, everybody put down on what state you're tuning in from. Let me know. So what do you think? Yep. Sound like she threw him down some stairs. All right, let's resume.
Low.
Okay. And when you heard the loud crashing sound, did you hear any voices? Like, could you make out if you heard a male or female's voice?
I couldn't hear anything, no.
Okay. Is that normal for you to hear noises coming from their apartment?
Not loud. But
Not that loud?
Not that loud.
Okay.
But I'll regularly hear like thudding sounds, like stuff being like.
Yeah, it was loud because there was a body inside the suitcase. How can you do something like this? This woman is crazy. Why did he get in that suitcase? I just don't get it. Why did he get in that suitcase? She didn't put a gun to his head or something. What? This is
Probably because he was drunk.
I mean, everybody, not everybody, but somebody have a couple of drinks, but give it a suitcase check.
Look, they have a history of drinking. You remember, like they said, they drink from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Oh. Damn. But she said they were drinking wine. Do you get tore up like that? I don't know. Well, he's a small. I just don't.
I mean, you gotta understand how much wine they be drinking. Hell, they be probably turning up bottles. You know, they got that box wine for like what, $12.99.
Oh, you talking about the box
with the highest percent? They mix that box wine with some of that vodka, and then they did get the drinking that.
Oh God, yeah, the box wine. Lord have mercy. I just don't get it.
They probably have a whole castle. They had a sandcastle box wines. They can make a sandcastle out of the bunch of box wine they probably been drinking.
What did you say that they could make a sandcastle? They probably did. Oh God, don't get me for this. I shouldn't be laughing, but this is just crazy.
No, the Lord is laughing. What are you talking about? The Lord is laughing. The Lord laughing like, ha ha. You should have never got in that suitcase with your drunk behind.
Oh, I'm done. Oh, that's my co-host, the lovely Jack Newtown. Resume.
Slammed against the wall or something like that.
Okay. Have you ever heard voices? Have you ever been able to determine?
I've never I've always kind of like tuned out if I was
Okay.
hearing voices.
If you heard something, you
yeah.
okay. But you have heard loud noises in the past, but not as loud as you had heard on Sunday night.
No, it never been that. Like I felt the walls shake
Okay.
as the sound happened.
I'm sorry to keep pausing, but said he felt the wall shake. Ooh, she was angry. Oh, you done, Miss Thing. You are done. They gonna get you. You can't get out of this one. And there's a videotape too. Good luck. You can't. It's not possible. Resume.
And do you know either of them? Like, do you know?
I've had a few brief interactions with them.
Okay.
But I don't.
Like, do you know who lives there? Like,
yes.
Can you describe who lives there for me?
It is a sort of, I guess, like middle age. I don't know, like around 40s, blonde woman.
Okay.
And a Hispanic gentleman. I believe so. I haven't interacted with him much. I've spoken to her a few times.
You've spoken to her a few times. Okay. Anyone else live there?
I believe they have a little boy.
A small child. Okay. Okay. When you have seen them around, how do they appear to you?
They almost always seem either like tired or like tweaked out.
Tweaked out?
Yeah.
Okay. The conversations you had, the interactions you had with the female, like, what do you mean interactions?
I remember one night.
Hold up. I had to pause. Rusty said she threw a crack rock in the suitcase, and while he was looking for it, she zipped him up. I can't. This is insane. I should not be laughing. I gotta stop this. But this is crazy. Okay, let's resume.
She slept on the back porch of my apartment for some reason.
Okay.
I don't remember much, but I just remember like looking at the shape and seeing her like laid down.
Okay. Do you recall, like, maybe what month this was?
I couldn't say. It was pretty early when I moved in. I would say the summer of 2019.
Summer of 2019. Okay. Did you wake her, or?
No, I just.
Okay. And by sleeping, you guys all have like a cement area, right?
Yes.
Like a back patio,
Yes.
But it's not enclosed.
No.
Was she in a chair on the ground,
Like
or
on the ground.
on the ground? Okay.
I don't have any chairs on our back porch.
Okay. Any other run-ins with her? Things you've witnessed with her?
I was coming home from class one night. I would not be able to give you a time period on this.
Sure,
I don't
yeah.
remember when it is. And I was waiting on my roommate to get home because I had left my keys in the apartment.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember she came over and was talking to me for a minute, and it was very visible that like she was talking to me because she didn't want to be in her apartment.
Okay.
I don't know why, like I didn't ask, but it was just very evident that she didn't want to be there.
Do you remember anything she was saying?
No.
Her demeanor?
She seemed like skittish, like nervous.
Okay.
I don't remember anything we talked about because, in complete honesty, when I was just, it was in one ear and out the other.
Right, yeah, you're just kind of, right.
With vague nothing.
Okay. Did she appear to be on anything at that point, or just she seemed nervous?
She seemed nervous.
Okay.
She didn't seem like high or anything. She just seemed out of it.
Okay.
I would chalk it up to be more like tired and paranoid or nervous, stuff like that.
Okay. And any other interactions with her?
No. Honestly, from the few times I had spoken to her, like anytime I saw her, I kind of just tried to go straight into my apartment.
Right.
There's a few times where I would walk past and she'd say hi or something, and I would just kind of lie and be like, oh, I'm only going to be here for like 10 minutes. I just got to change and head back to class or something. Like, I try to avoid.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Did you ever witness either of them on their back porch patio?
No, I don't walk that direction.
Okay.
I don't have any reason to go like that.
Right. You guys don't have any like dogs or anything that you have
I
to
don't have
walk?
any pets.
There you go. Okay. Any interactions with the Hispanic male?
No, not that I can recall.
No. Okay. Okay. Is there anything else that you think is important for me to know about them and anything you've heard or witnessed between the two of them?
It seems like an abusive relationship. Just from every time I heard them, every time like I saw the two of them, it seemed rough.
Okay. Okay.
It's one of those things where like he was a bad guy. He was a bad guy.
Mhm. Okay. All right. Is there anything else that you think is important for me to know?
Nothing I can think of. No.
Okay. Do you mind raising your right hand for me? Do you promise and swear everything we've talked about has been true and accurate to the best of your knowledge?
Everything I've said is true as far as I can recall.
Yep, perfect. All right, this ends the recording at 17:50.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was the end of that audio. It seemed like I have time. You know what? I think I'm gonna play the other audios instead of doing another one. Because I do have some more audios. I have to pull it up. Okay, so just give me a second here. Yeah, I should do it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, just give me a second here while I can pull up the other audio. So it's gonna be silent for a second because I have to find the other one. Wait a minute. What to do? All right. First I'm gonna show the suitcase again with him in the suitcase. Let me show that first. And then I'm gonna pull up the other audio for y'all. Okay, because the other audio is the best friend and someone else. I have two more audios, so we might as well just knock it out today. Just do it here since we have some time. It's only 39 minutes. So I'm gonna play the other two audios. All right, hold a second. Mute for a second. Okay, I'm gonna show the video again of, unfortunately, with him in a suitcase, just in case anybody didn't see. And then I'm going to play the other two audios since we have time. I think I could do this under an hour. My goal was not really to pass an hour instead of doing another live stream to do it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the video that she recorded. She put him in the suitcase, or he went in the suitcase, or however it went. But he's inside that suitcase that you see. And she recorded it. And hear what she has to say. Let's get it.
Sarah.
For everything you've done to me.
Sarah.
For everything you've done to me.
Sarah.
Fuck you.
Sarah.
Fuck you.
Sarah.
Stupid.
Sarah.
That's my name. Don't wear it up.
Sarah. I can't fucking breathe, babe. Seriously.
Right there is she's done. Once they use us in the courts, she's done. He said, I can't effing breathe. He can't. And like I said before, you don't play when somebody can't breathe. You notice when if you emergency room, whenever a person said that their heart or they can't breathe or a woman is pregnant, they immediately skip the line. They immediately go inside because they're not going to take that chance because there's a possibility that person can die. All you got to do is go into the emergency room and say you having troubles breathing. They don't waste no time. You go to the emergency room saying you're pregnant. They don't waste no time. You about something with your heart going on that's a little bit weird. They don't waste no time in the emergency room. That is serious. And for her to let this man stay in it like that, she's pure evil. Mommy and daddy and laid down and they had the daughter of Satan. And by her name is called Sarah Boone. Resume.
Yeah, that's when you do when you choke me.
Sarah. 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 Sarah, I can't breathe, babe.
That's on you.
Sarah, I can't breathe.
It's on you.
Sarah.
Wriggle around some. Might want to get video for it extra. Because I got this.
Sarah.
Wriggle around.
Sarah. Sarah, I can't.
Ladies and gentlemen, you see the suitcase move? Did you see it? Or do I have to put it bigger? So you can see. The suitcase move. He's fighting to get out of there. He's fighting to get out. Let's go back a little bit. He's fighting to get out of there. He is. And she don't care. She just sitting there, just sipping that wine. We'll probably have the googly eyes. You know, the eyes of Satan. Like, ha, 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 ha.
Sarah, I can't breathe, babe.
Oh. That's what I feel like when you drink on me.
Sarah.
Fuck
can't
you.
fucking breathe, Sarah.
Yeah. You should probably shut the fuck up.
Sarah.
Shh.
She didn't care. Nope, she didn't care. Not at all. She didn't care. Or what my girl Ann said. I was in a 40-year domestic violence situation and I could not do that. Yep, if I had a gun, I'd probably shoot him. But that didn't happen. Move along. Break up. Exactly. Like I said, it does hurt when the person that you love, you with, and they cheat on you and they do you wrong, right? It hurts. I've been there. And I think everybody here has been there. If you're over 25, you've been there, so I don't even want to hear it. Okay? And it hurts. But this is not what you do. She wasn't normal. He was dealing with a dangerous woman. And I'm not saying so much he was a saint, but I think that he really, my thoughts and opinions, I feel that he really loved this woman. And I believe that she got in a relationship with him because it was somebody that she could just use and abuse. And plus, their relationship was built on alcohol. She met him at one of those bars. Like we listened to the audio. Remember the audio that we had listened to with the the ex-husband, he was talking about how they was together and when they had a kid, she wanted to still, party and going out here and doing things. But when you have children, your life changed. Those days is over. I mean, you can still kind of go out, but you don't hang out like the way you used to. She's hanging out at the bars and drinking and stuff and bringing these type of dudes into the house, into your house with your husband. Are you flipping kidding me? That's crazy. And I think that's what she meant, because she said she was in the relationship with him, her boyfriend. They was in a relationship for 3.5 years or whatever, right? And then the husband said, now all this whole crime had happened in 2020, ladies and gentlemen. Whoever's coming in don't know about it. But you can read the description to find out more, or go back to my past videos. So if you need to know more information. So they was together for 3.5 years, but then the husband did say that they broke up about 1.5 years ago. And they got divorced 1.5 years ago. But he did mention, I guess, she was probably cheating on her husband with this guy, whatever the deal is. But it really is sad. It really is sad that how this all ended. And you know what? I'm definitely going to play the other video. Let me stop talking. You can hear some more. Now we're going to hear what the best friend had to say. Let's get into the best friend. All right. So give me a second here so I can find and pull up, because I didn't plan to. I was going to do another live and go there, but we're going to do it all tonight and just get it out the way and then go from there. Oh, let me show you some pictures. That's a picture of him, and I think it might be his daughter and son. The other pictures that's fuzzed out, I think so, because they usually fuzz out pictures as kids. I think those are both his kids there, because he had kids. Here's another picture of him. He was a very small man, he's kind of, petite, whatever, So sad. So sad. All right, give me a second here, ladies and gentlemen. Let me find the other video. So give me a second. It's going to be silent for a second. So give me a second. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the audio I'm getting ready to play is just audio. All this is audio tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the audio I'm going to play is, let me set this up right so I can be able to do the timestamps correctly. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the audio I'm going to play now is his brother, what his brother had to say about their relationship, okay? So we're going to listen to the brother here. Let me make sure I have this set up correctly. Is that the brother? Am I? Okay. Like I said, this is the brother. We're going to listen to what he has to say about it. Let's get it, ladies and gentlemen.
Today's date is February 26, 2020. The time now is approximately 13:22 hours. This is in reference to Orange County case number 20-017904. I'm currently located in my unmarked agency vehicle outside of a yard in Orlando, Florida. In the car with me is my partner,
Scott Lowen.
And in the front seat is, sir, can you state your name for me?
Juan Torres.
And your birthday?
31.
Okay. And you are the brother to George Torres Jr., correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. It came to my, your parents had explained to me that you had a conversation with George a few days ago. Do you recall that specific date?
Yes. It was Sunday.
On Sunday. So Sunday, we're looking at the calendar together, the 23rd?
The 23rd.
Okay, so February 23rd, you guys had a conversation. Do you recall what time that conversation took place?
7:30. Oh, it finished at 7:30.
Do you remember what time it started? Do you by any chance still have it in your call log?
Does it do it when... So it had to be 7:30.
Something Patricia said, maybe he had an intellectual discapacity, I can't even pronounce it, whatever, too. I kind of think that he might have been a little bit challenged. Hope I'm saying the right word. God, excuse me if I'm saying anything wrong. But I have the strange feeling because it just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. And she seemed like the type of person that she would prey on the weak. You know, the gullible, the weak, good-hearted people. I mean, listen to what the husband said. I mean, I never heard of a husband putting up with all that crap for so long. Okay, let's resume.
Because when you call it, clocks it. It doesn't do it at the end. It starts it.
It starts it, and
so
then it tells you how long you talked for.
So it was 7:30.
Okay. If you do have it in your call log, I'd love to take a picture of it if you still have it.
Something right here.
So it'd be Sarah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But,
if you click, I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
There we go. Do you mind if I take a photo?
No, it's fine.
Okay. And so it says you received an incoming call at 7:30, and you guys spoke for 4 minutes.
Yes. We was talking. I was playing dominoes with my kids and my wife. And at first I wasn't gonna pick it up. Then I picked up.
Okay.
Because they were always fighting and stuff with the
Okay.
alcohol. So he started talking to me. He was calm. So I was like, oh, okay. So I put it on speaker. So my kids are there, like they joke around with him, and he was joking around with them. And we're talking, and then he's talking to me about when we was kids. And then, like a couple minutes after that, that's when I hear in the back start arguing with him. No, I have to call my brother. I have to talk to him. And he's like, no, I'm talking to my brother. It was her phone. So, and then she starts arguing and telling him that, no, tell him what you've been doing to me. You choked me, this and that. But he was calm. And he was like, okay, I got to let you go. And then he said, I love you. And I told him I love you. And basically, that was it.
So she yells in the background, tell him what you've been doing to me.
Yeah.
You've been choking me.
Yeah.
Did you ask him anything about that?
No, because the thing with them, they would fight and they would hit each other. Because there was times he came here and she had hit him with a phone and he had a black eye. So it was like...
Did you witness that?
I didn't get to see it, but
Okay.
he told me himself.
Okay.
So
you guys know that there's domestic between the two.
Between them. And I told them, get out of there.
Basically mutual combat.
And what's crazy is that he would leave, come here, and she would call and tell him to come back, and she would come and get him. So she had the car, he didn't have a car.
Right.
So
you said that he sounded calm.
he was calm, relaxed. Like he would, I can tell because my brother's been drinking for a long time. We tried to get him help before.
Right.
And I can tell when he was like really drunk, and he wasn't that drunk that night.
He wasn't.
So when you're describing him as calm, that's an indication that he hadn't been drinking that much.
That he wasn't that drunk. No.
Okay. When he's been drinking, does he get really excited?
Sometimes he gets excited, and you can tell he like slurs his words, and and I can tell like he gets really emotional, and sometimes starts crying and.
Okay. And none of that happened that
No,
night?
none of that.
Have you ever witnessed them physically fight?
I've seen them because I've been to their house, and she's come out all crazy. I went over with my wife, and they had called me to go over there. She had called me to go over there.
Sarah?
Sarah had.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I'll come over. That he wanted to see me, so I went over. And as soon as I get there, she comes out crazy because she had saw some guy peeing around the corner, and she was trying to fight the guy and argue with the guy. And my brother was like, yo, calm down, B. Just calm down. And it was like, I went to that. That's why I would try to avoid everything. Like, I would call, whenever he called me, I talked to him. I tried to talk to him. But it was always, like, they were always.
Did she physically touch George, or was she just getting really upset and
upset? Like she came out upset. But there's a person, I can't remember, somebody seen him because he was on a bike one day, and he told me, I can't remember the person it was because he was on a bicycle, and she hit him with the car, and I can't remember who the person was, and he told me.
Okay.
She hit him with the car.
Have you ever seen any marks on George?
Yeah, around his neck.
You heard that, right? You heard that. This was a real toxic relationship. And you bring up some points here. I like the stuff that you're saying. It was about to go bad. Somebody being locked up for life or death. Reason.
Like what kind of marks?
Like the time she hit him with the phone.
Okay.
He had a black eye, scratches all over his neck.
Would you see Sarah every time you saw George?
Off and on. Like, if I would go over there, I would see her with him. And then sometimes if he ever came here, I would see him. Or sometimes when I would go over there, he would just come out and I wouldn't see her.
So you more saw your brother than Sarah?
I think it was equal.
Equal?
Because I've seen her. Sometimes she had marks and stuff. So
and what do you mean by marks?
Like bruises and stuff too. They used to beat each other.
And where were her bruises be?
I've seen on her arm, black eyes too.
Okay. Did George ever confide in you about their domestic problems? Like, did he ever tell you? Is there anything else that he's ever told you about him and Sarah? Any arguments? Any physical altercations?
No, he didn't really like to talk about it like that. Like, everybody knew it.
Right.
Like, they used to come here and fight and stuff.
Okay.
And my mom wouldn't like it and tell them to go.
Right.
And I know one day she came, it's been like maybe like 2 months. My dad, because she always tried to hug everybody. Everybody didn't want to be hugging like that. And she pushed my dad, and my dad fell.
Yeah.
So.
Would they always, would Sarah always be intoxicated when you saw her?
Most of the time.
And what about George?
There was times he was not, he had drank, but he wasn't like drunk. Like he would try to like eat and try to have her eat because they was always drinking so much. So he was like, "We need to eat something." But
And that's what I notice about them. They're extremely small people. Look at her in this picture, really small. Some people that's alcoholics, they don't eat. They just drink all day. That's it. That's all they need. And that's what they seem like, that type of couple. That's when you really know you're a drinker. All right, let's get it.
Did you, like a couple of years ago, did you and your brother have any kind of a falling out? Did you guys get into an argument, a fist fight, or anything?
no. See,
Has he gotten into a physical altercation with any of your brothers?
With Farrell, he did, the one that had the long hair.
The curly hair?
Yeah. With him, but it was just...
How severe of a fight was this, though?
Nah, brothers.
Did he
Anybody go to the hospital?
No, nothing like that.
Anybody have, like, bloodied lips, broken noses, anything like that?
Broken eye?
No. Oh, he had with my other brother too, with Mo. George had went to the hospital.
George went to the hospital.
Yeah, George.
It was a few years ago, 2 years ago, maybe 2.5.
That happened because, she said they was drunk. They was at my Mo's house, at Moses' house. That's the other one.
Moses.
His name is Moses.
Is it last name Torres?
Torres.
Okay.
He they had got into it because Sarah had came and said that she had George had beat her, and then they got into it, but I wasn't there that day. Moses he can tell you about that.
But George did go to the hospital.
George went. George was in the hospital for that.
Do you remember what injuries he sustained?
Something in his eye socket.
And she stated when that video that showed when with the body cam video, if anybody wants to see, just go back to my past commentary. In the body cam video, she stated that the family didn't like her and she's so scared for her safety and everything. But his brother beat up George because he thought that you was beating on him. Thought that he was beating on you. He was protecting you. He fought his own brother for you. How is it possible that they didn't care about you, whatever? Just strange. Something to think about. Reason.
The nose, maybe?
I think his nose too. But it had something was wrong with his
orbital.
Yeah, the orbital.
Yeah.
What?
All right. Is there anything else that you think is important for us to know about your brother or Sarah and their relationship? I'm assuming the 4-minute conversation, he was just kind of like, you guys were just talking at first.
At first, just talking. I would notice that he was okay. It wasn't a fight.
You said he was joking with your kids, and then you hear Sarah in the background,
and then that's when Sarah came.
And then you let him go, or he let you go.
Because he was like, my niece and nephew there, they can hear you, like. So he was like, all right, bye, and then.
Okay.
How did she sound?
She sounded like crazy, like she always did. Like, she was always like that, crazy. Like, she would just start yelling.
Was she yelling any kind of threats or anything?
No. She was just saying about calling her brother.
Okay, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you promise and swear everything we've talked about has been true and accurate to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay, that's the end of the brother. I have one more last one. It's not as long as this one, and the one I'm gonna play is his friend. The audio with the friend. I'm glad I'm doing it all tonight. The audio with the friend. So we're gonna get into the friend too. I'm gonna definitely have to change the script title. All right, just give me a second here so I can set up the other one. Okay, let me do this correctly. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now we're going to listen to the audio of Jorge Torres, his friend. Let's hear what the friend had to say. And that's to be the last of the audio. Let's get it.
This is in reference to Orange County case number 20-017904. I'm currently located at
4704
4704
Lucia Court.
Lucier Court. In Winter Park, Florida, 32792 at the Tealwood Park Apartments complex in the front office. Also with me is, can you state your name, sir?
Abraham Moreno.
Okay, and your date of birth? So with me is my partner, Detective Scott Lullen with the Orange County Sheriff's Office. Okay, Abram, prior to us going on recording, I was informed by Melissa, who's the property manager, that you knew Jorge Torres.
Correct.
And you were explaining that you knew him from Philadelphia when he was smaller.
Yes.
And then now you, I guess, had
Reconnected
reconnected
when I started working here in October
in October of last year?
of last year.
Of 19. Okay. So you said that you last saw him, you said it was last Tuesday?
Last Thursday.
Last Thursday. Okay, thank you. So last Thursday was the 20th?
Correct.
Sound about right? Okay. Now, what can you tell me about George and Sarah's relationship?
They had on and off rocky relationship, which was physical on occasions. I'm aware of the fact that George had a probation officer. He was in anger management. And again, they had their good times, their bad times. Sometimes he would instigate the situations. Majority of the times, Sarah Boone instigated the situations. And she ended up with bruises. But that's more of him like kind of pushing her off of himself.
Okay. And that's what he told you?
Yes.
I'm kind of feeling what the brother is saying. I think it's just not saying he was just saying he didn't hit her or anything, but I think it's just more of him defending himself. I think it was her. They just start drinking, her eyes get googly, and she just get crazy and just want to start cursing and hitting and stuff.
Mutual combat.
That's my co-host, the real Jack Newtown. Resume.
She verified it with you.
Sarah verified with you?
Yes.
Okay. Did they both drink a lot?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
In excess.
What?
In excess. They didn't drink to drink. They drank to sunrise to sunset, all the time in between.
Okay. Did you ever see them physically fight?
No.
Okay. Have you ever seen them physically argue?
I've seen them argue,
Argue. Okay.
but no physical contact.
Right. Has George confided in you about Sarah? About anything she's, I know you said that they both, sometimes he'll.
He notified me, he had told me on a couple of occasions where she called the police on him and had him put out. A couple of times he ended up getting arrested over it. And that she was the reason why he was taking the anger management courses and stuff. Because a couple of weeks ago, he was still working at the hardware store on the corner until they closed.
Right.
And that's where me and him would have more of our conversations than anything else. I'm going there to get stuff. Now it's just me and him, one-on-one.
Right.
She's not there to create this situation.
Okay. And so, just correct me if I'm wrong, you said that sometimes he would instigate it and sometimes she would instigate it?
Yes.
Okay, and he admitted to that?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know when, did he confide in you about like their last physical argument or fight?
The last physical fight that they had, she mentioned it to me, Melissa, and Mr. G when she got arrested. When we were all standing outside, and she said, I want to speak to you. And G walked over to an officer and said, is it okay if she speaks to us? They said we would prefer not, but that is her choice.
Right.
We did not ask her any questions. She had told us that a couple of days ago they got into a fight where he grabbed her by her hair and dragged her down the steps.
Okay.
And that would probably be a day or two before the situation happened.
Before the situation?
With the suitcase.
Okay, so when did you talk? When was that?
She was talking to us outside Monday afternoon.
Oh, Monday. Okay. I thought you said the last time she got arrested, and I'm like.
No, when she got arrested, when everybody was at her door.
When we were investigating.
When you were doing during your investigation, because you was typing in the car.
Okay.
She was talking to us outside. There was a young officer at the door who heard the conversation.
Okay.
Because he was only but 20 feet away.
Okay. So she told you what again? One more time.
That they had gotten into a fight. He grabbed her by the hair and dragged her down the steps.
2 days prior?
Probably about 2 days prior to that situation.
So that would be Saturday.
Yeah, over the weekend, yes.
Over the weekend.
Whatever took place over the weekend, Saturday or Sunday.
Okay.
Then she told us that they were playing hide and seek. He went in the suitcase. She zipped it up. And then she went upstairs and passed out.
Did he ever confide in you, like, what he did, like, for fun? Besides, like, the drinking, like, is there other activities that he did? Did he ever tell you, like, oh, I'm trying to get into this?
They actually used to do a whole lot of arts and crafts inside of the townhome. And they did a lot of it with her son. Kind of. There was a perfect relationship, but they tried, I guess, in their own way.
Right. Okay. Is there anything else that he would tell you about him and Sarah's relationship that you think is important for us to know?
I think you actually know it all. They just had a very rocky physical relationship. On and off.
Okay. Did you ever see marks or bruises on him?
Yes.
Okay. Like what?
Scratches on the neck.
Scratches.
As I said, with her attacking him, he's kind of just
trying to stop.
Shove her back, but because she's such light skin, as soon as he touched her, instant bruises all across the arms and things of that nature.
Right. Okay. So I don't know if you've noticed or if it's been before, but the door, there's like a bunch of markings on the door. Have you ever noticed that or no?
How much door?
Their door.
Their front door, the very front metal door.
I haven't looked at it.
Okay.
But I know if I was to look at it, I could probably tell you what it was.
Okay. We're just curious if, like, since you had been working here, if you noticed it or saw it.
No, because they had keys. Now, they probably slamming doors back and forth and had an argument. I know of one instance where her ex-husband showed up.
Mm-hmm.
but that would probably be around November.
Anything?
Has he ever talked to you about any damage inside the apartment that he needed help fixing that you couldn't do?
No.
Have you ever really been inside their apartment?
Yes, I have. I did basic work orders, like change the verticals, patch up.
Do you see any damage that looks like it was caused by either one of them?
Not that I can say, it just looks like normal wear and tear of a unit.
Well, I noticed on the first floor there's a half bath there.
Yes.
There's like 2 or 3 patches on that door. Do you know anything about those patches?
No, not the door. I did the patchwork in the ceiling, and that was due to a leaking air conditioner. The door would have had to have been super recent.
Yeah. One night. I did hear about that.
Yeah. All right.
And you said has Sarah confided in you where George is not there? Or is it like?
The most she ever did was, we're fighting, we're arguing. He's always arguing with his ex-wife over the phone. I just tried not to get in the middle of that.
Did you know his ex-wife, or was that prior?
Oh, that's well after. Because I lived down the street from George.
For how long?
93 to 2005.
So he would have started at, you said 14?
Yeah,
So he would have been into his mid-20s.
Yeah, but it was me and my wife. And trust me, she works for DHS.
Okay.
She's a child service kid. Right? My son is a Philadelphia police officer. Different circles altogether.
Yeah. That's what I was going to ask. How well did you know him up there?
Oh, not like I said, to me, he was just a teenager running around with the other kids. And I was like,
See him at the corner store and stuff like that?
Yeah, stuff like that. Well, literally on the block, because I lived here. My brother-in-law across the street was my ex-wife's aunt, and then George.
Okay.
So it was, and then her mother lived across the street. So restaurants, so no matter where you go, everybody sees each other at corners and stuff.
Now down here, was it just coincidence you got the job here, was walking through and ran into him and went,
Yep.
holy cow. Okay.
That's literally what happened. It was like, whoa, real small world.
Do you ever go out and hang out with them, have
Nope.
dinner, go drinking? The only time we've ever seen them is when you're at work, either here on this property
Or when I would go to the hardware store. That's it.
Okay. Did you ever stay after and hang out in the apartment with them?
Nope. I don't hang out with residents.
Good.
Can you raise your right hand? Do you promise and swear everything we've talked about
I
has
confirm.
been true and accurate to
I
the
will
best of your?
confirm, I do not swear.
You confirm that everything we've talked about has been true and accurate to the
Yes.
best of your knowledge? Okay. This ends the recording 11:57 hours.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was the end of all the audios that I have. I'm glad that all this evening. So what does everybody think? Well, I've been reading the comments and looking at them and stuff, and this is a sad thing that just happened. Basically, this is a sad thing. It's just a toxic relationship that just went bad. But I think she's more the aggressor. My thoughts and opinions. She's more the aggressor. And I think he might have been a little bit challenged. Could be. I could be wrong. Not too sure. But you know how to say everything's going to come out in the courts. Everything will come out in the courts. Everything. We'll find out everything. Anybody else have anything else to say here? About this one? Because I know if this definitely goes, well, it's going to definitely go to trial. And it's supposed to be in January. But if it's public, I will definitely follow this because I want to find out more about with this one. And everything will come out in the trial. But this one was plain evil. The bottom line is, Psycho Sarah, he was in that suitcase. and he said he couldn't breathe. And he kept calling you babe, but you just wouldn't let him out. You didn't. So you're done. You can't even use a case of self-defense or nothing. He was in the suitcase. He said he couldn't breathe. When a person said they can't breathe or they feeling some sort of problems in their heart, you take that serious. Like I said, once you go to the emergency room, I know those three things: breathing, heart, and pregnancy. They pull you in immediately. There's no sitting around waiting, filling out papers in the waiting area. They just send you on in. They take care of that stuff later on because a person can die. That's why they can die.
Baloney.
Oh,
When my mom was being sick and everything, I had to raise hell.
wait a minute, say it again. I'm sorry. Say it again.
I said, yeah, my mother couldn't really breathe, and I had to raise hell.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I mean, that ain't always the case.
That's not right. Because it's supposed to when it breathing, heart, pregnancy. Well, of course, if you're bleeding to death or something like that,
No, the only time they really rush you if you just on the floor cold.
Gosh.
Yep. That goes for anybody. That goes for any nationality, race, etc. I've seen it happen.
Not right. What Elaine says, I hope the trial will be. I hope so too. Oh, I hope so too. All right, Rusty says, I don't think that she did it intentionally or wanted to kill him. Drugs and alcohol can change everything. Her true nature was revealed to us under the influence. Dun, 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 dun. All right, Sarah. Strong says Sarah's gonna cop a plea. Yeah, I wonder how she thinks she's gonna get out of this one.
Got a choice.
See, but Jeff, you deal with these narcissists, sociopaths. They think they just know everything. They think it's
Let her be like Darnell Brooks and get 1,000 years in the big house.
Mm-hmm. She a fool. Just like Darnell Brooks, he thought he knew everything. Surratt thought he had it all down, like he was just gonna, run the courtroom. Only thing I think her and Surratt is gonna be the same way in the courtroom if she represents herself. But the only thing difference is you're gonna see a lot of crying with her because she's gonna do that histrionic move. The crying.
We got the piss color Surratt. Now we got the vanilla color Surratt.
Okay, dokie. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody else have anything else to share they want to put up here? I'm gonna let y'all go. It's almost an hour and a half, but I just showed these videos and see anybody else have any other comments real quick. Oh yeah, Surratt. Rusty says here, I beat my horn. You should have moved. Exactly. Yeah. And he kept going, right? And I saw a picture, Rusty, with Surratt, that it was basically someone, I didn't want to show it on here, but somebody was like hanging on the hood for their dear life, Rusty. And he just have his head out the window grinning like, he's still trying to drive. How could you do something like that? He's going to burn in hell. He is. Well, he's done. He's never going to be able to walk the streets again. He's dangerous. And like I said, and I said to y'all before, if you watch my past commentary, I fought the mother. I fought grandma being enablers. And I also fought the justice system. Everybody was enablers to him. And he got away with a lot of stuff. And this stuff happens all the time, not just with Surratt. There's other people out here like that. And the justice system, they slap him on the hands, just let him go. The parents defending them and wives and fiancés, husbands defend them, and it's clear as day. I mean, there's a video that's showing the person did the crime. There's not no he says he said the crime is right there. I mean, of course, you're innocent until proven guilty. We all know that. Yes, okay. But you seen the video of what the person did. How can you? How do you support monsters? That tells a lot about yourself. That's how I look at it. Tell me. Let me know in the comments. I don't support stuff like this. There's just no way. No way. Just like, Dahmer's family. I'm not supporting my son. do something like that. You seen bodies hauled out of his apartment? Are you kidding me? No. I'll do a prayer for you. Yeah, I pray for everybody. There's nothing wrong praying, but I'm staying clear away. But that's all right. Like Surrat's mama and grandma, they was best just not saying anything. But they showed themselves. Their life is going to be a living hell, even though they're not locked up. But their life is going to be a living hell wherever they go. Just to go to the corner store to get some milk, people are going to look at them funny. Order an Uber, going to the laundromat, whatever they do, going to work. People, if whatever jobs they have, 9 to my 10 people's going to try to find a way to get them off the job, to fire them. You know why? Because they don't want them there. All right, Jack, have a closing thought. I'm going to end here because I'm going on too long. And Elaine says, thanks, Donna, and thank you too. And good night, everyone. I have to run. Have a good night, everyone. And you too, have a good night and a blessed one, Elaine. Jack, anything else say?
No, it was mutual combat, 1-on-1. They both were beating the hell out of each other. And unfortunately, one got the okadoke over the other one.
Wow. Why'd you go in that suitcase? Oh, boy.
Drunk. That's why.
Yeah, you're right. All right, everybody. Good night, all. And thank you everybody for being here. Thank you for engaging. And hugs and kisses and blessings to the people that's in the bushes. Thank you for being here, and stay tuned for some more commentary. I have something coming up because we heard about the Nick Carter situation. I don't know if y'all know about that one, but very interesting. Stay tuned for that one. All right, everybody. Everybody have themselves a blessed night and a safe one. And remember, tomorrow is Friday. Woo! Holla. Love it. Bye. Date smart, not thirsty.